Well, we're going to start looking at Chapter 1 of Sense and Sensibilities. And I do want to mention that the book actually has a cent sign and a dollar sign for the C and the S, but we put in the rest of it for the reader, a C and an S, so it's not a typo when we have that throughout the presentation, but we would just want to note that. So Chapter 1 in the book begins to address needs versus wants. And this is one of these topics that everybody should be familiar with, but without a refresher, sometimes we forget these things. We get caught up in spending money and seeing what our neighbors are buying, and oh, they've got another new car, or my friend's got the latest blue jeans, or whatever it might be. And we start spending money we don't necessarily have. So one of the most basic things we can do with ourselves, with our customers, is to take a step back and say, all right, what are needs versus wants? Obviously, we all need food. We all need some place to live. We need clothes. We can't come to work without them. We need health care, and in some cases, we need assistive technology. The wants, they parallel the needs in some cases. I mean, we need food. But do we need to go out to dinner every day? No. Do we need to get takeout? Do we need to go through fast food? No, absolutely not. So that's a want versus the actual need. We have up there as wants iPod, Keith Urban tickets. Holly and I are both huge fans. Video games are something a lot of our younger people are really into video games and spending a lot of money on, but that is not a need. They will not die without a video game. So it's just one of those things to take a step back and say, do I really need this? Or is it just a want? And if you're struggling financially, it's one of those questions you really need to look at, and this book focuses on that a lot throughout it. We also need to be aware of money values. Everybody looks at money slightly differently, and a couple of the big questions that we have up here today is, how do I use my money? And you're not going to get the same answer twice from different people. You're going to get different answers. There are people who want to buy things right now. I need it today. I have to have it today. They're not going to wait. And there are people who like to save and scrimp and not buy anything and save up for that big purchase somewhere down the road. And there's nothing wrong with either approach as long as you're living within your means, I guess is the main point. But we want to be aware everybody has different values around money and the way they use it. So money habits, this is in the book, and you will notice on the PowerPoint slides at the bottom right corner, it says C&S page, and there's a page number. This correlates to the book, so if you want to sort of see what's happening with the book as we're going through, that's going to be your little code throughout the presentation for where we are in the booklet. But money habits, yes or no, we're not going to use the poll one for this at this point in time, but just think about the answers. Do you have a spending plan yourself? Or a budget, or we're going to call them money maps in a few minutes. Do you track your spending every month? I pay my bills on time or before the due date, and these are some really important things to be doing and getting in good habits. I have money in the bank or credit union. I pay my credit card balance in full every month. I know the total amount of any debts that I have. I have seen my credit report in the last 12 months. I save money every month, and I could pay for an unexpected expense today if I had to. These are all really good habits to get into. If you're not doing it, that's kind of a guideline for where you might want to, change some of your habits. But it's great to have a budget. But it's not so great if you don't go to step 2 and actually look at it every month and see if you've stayed within it. So again, we're going to be working with that in the booklet today.